Sarah Morrison had always believed in second chances. At 42, she'd built a life with her husband David that seemed perfect from the outside: a modest home in suburban Connecticut, Sunday brunches, and quiet evenings watching old movies. Together, the apartment they'd just moved into was a fresh start. Hardwood floors that caught the morning light, windows overlooking a small park where children played. Sarah had spent the entire day unpacking boxes while David handled paperwork at his office. She'd just returned from the grocery store, arms full of bags, when her phone rang. "Hello," she answered, balancing groceries against her hip. "Mrs. Morrison." The voice was unfamiliar. Male. Hesitant. "Yes, this is she." There was a pause. Then, "This is Martin Chen. I was the previous owner of your apartment." Sarah's heart quickened slightly. "Oh, hello. Is everything all right?" Another pause. Longer this time. "I need to tell you something. I forgot to turn off the hidden camera." The grocery bags slipped from her arms. Oranges rolled across the floor. "What camera?" Her voice came out smaller than she intended. "In the bedroom, behind the air vent. I saw what your husband did while you were at the store today." His words tumbled out faster now. "He brought a woman there. I'm so sorry. I know this is terrible, but I couldn't let this continue. Come over to my new place alone and I'll show you the footage." "Don't tell him anything yet." Sarah stood frozen in her kitchen, surrounded by scattered groceries. Her mind raced through the day. David's insistence that she go shopping. His specific request for items from a store across town. The way he'd kissed her forehead and told her to take her time. She should have felt rage. Instead, she felt a strange, cold clarity. "Text me your address," she said quietly. Martin lived 20 minutes away in a cramped studio apartment still filled with moving boxes. He was younger than she expected, maybe 35, with kind eyes that held genuine regret. "I almost didn't call," he admitted, pulling up the footage on his laptop. "But my own wife, well, I know what it's like to be the last to know." Sarah watched the screen. There was her bedroom, her new bedroom, and there was David, with a woman Sarah had never seen before. Young, laughing. The woman wore a green dress that shimmered in the afternoon light. Sarah watched for exactly 2 minutes before she asked Martin to stop the video. "How long has this been set up?" she asked. "Just this unit. I installed it 6 months ago when my marriage was falling apart. I was paranoid, suspicious of everyone. It was wrong." Martin's voice was heavy with shame. "I should have removed it before moving out. I just forgot." Sarah nodded slowly. Her hands were steady. Her breathing was calm. This surprised her. "Can I have a copy of this footage?" "Of course. Whatever you need." She thanked Martin and drove home. The sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. She thought about the 15 years she'd given to David, the dreams they'd shared, the quiet moments that had felt like love. She thought about revenge, how satisfying it would be to expose him publicly, to hurt him the way he'd hurt her. But mostly, she thought about freedom. David was cooking dinner when she arrived home. Pasta, her favorite. He smiled when she walked in, that familiar smile she'd trusted for so many years. "There you are." "I was getting worried." Sarah set her purse down carefully. She looked at him, really looked at him, and saw a stranger. "David, we need to talk." Over the next hour, she told him everything. She showed him the footage. She watched his face cycle through denial, anger, bargaining. She listened to his excuses, his promises, his tears, and then she told him her decision. "I'm not going to destroy you," she said quietly. "I'm not going to tell your family or our friends. I'm not going to post this online or ruin your reputation." David looked up, hopeful. "But I am going to leave tonight. I've already contacted a lawyer. The divorce papers will be filed tomorrow." "Sarah, please." "I could spend my energy on revenge," she continued, her voice steady. "And sure, I could make you suffer. Part of me wants to, but that would mean giving you even more of my time, more of my life, and you've already taken enough." She stood up, picking up the bag she'd quietly packed while he processed the footage. "I'm choosing something different. I'm choosing to take all this hurt, all this betrayal and turn it into something better. I'm going to build a life where I don't have to wander, where I don't have to check cameras or question every late night at the office at the door. She paused. Maybe someday I'll even thank you for this, for showing me that I deserve more than pretty words and Sunday brunches. I deserve truth. Sarah walked out into the cool evening air. Behind her, she heard David calling her name, but she didn't turn around. 6 months later, Sarah sat in a coffee shop, working on her laptop. She'd started a support group for people navigating unexpected betrayals. She'd reconnected with old friends. She'd learned to paint. She thought about Martin sometimes, the accidental messenger who'd given her an unwanted gift. She thought about the woman in the green dress, wondering if she knew the truth about David. Mostly though, Sarah thought about kindness, not the kind that makes you ignore red flags, but the kind that lets you walk away with grace. The kind that says, I will not become bitter. I will not let this break me. Love, she'd learned, wasn't about holding on. Sometimes it was about letting go, and in that letting go, she'd found herself again.